Taylor, you're my light in a world that tries to dim us, Travis Smith whispered, his eyes locked on Taylor Walker's radiant ebony skin and flowing, wavy black hair. Her heart raced, unaware that their love story, a whirlwind of passion, defiance, and dreams, would soon shake the world. Taylor, a 28-year-old African-American singer, rose from humble roots to global stardom, her soulful voice weaving tales of love and resilience. Travis, a white NFL star, was her unlikely match, their bond forged through courage against a tide of online hate. Their journey, marked by piercing prejudice and unwavering devotion, led to a moment that stunned millions. This is no ordinary tale. It's a saga of love that defied a divided world. Subscribe to our channel and share where you're watching Pillar 3 watching from, and when. Let us know in the comments. Stick around to discover how their story ends in a way no one saw coming. The Kansas City night pulsed with electric anticipation, the air thick with the scent of summer, and the hum of a crowd that stretched beyond the horizon. Arrowhead Stadium, a colossus of steel and dreams, glowed under the starlit sky. Its 80,000 seats filled with fans clutching glowing wristbands, their cheers a tidal wave of devotion. On stage, Taylor Walker stood radiant, her ebony skin catching the spotlight's gleam, her long, wavy black hair cascading like a midnight river over her shoulders. At 28, the African-American songstress had conquered the world with her voice, a soulful blend of grit and grace that wove stories of love, loss, and triumph. Tonight was the pinnacle of her global tour, a moment she'd dreamed of since her childhood in a small Georgia town, singing in church choirs under the watchful eyes of a community that saw her as their own. Taylor's voice soared through the opening notes of her hit single, Unbroken, her lyrics painting a canvas of resilience that silenced the crowd into awe. Her fingers danced over the guitar strings, her eyes scanning the sea of faces, some tear-streaked, others alight with joy. But beyond the stage lights, in a private box high above the crowd, sat Travis Smith, a man whose presence would soon set her world ablaze. Travis, the NFL's golden boy, a white tight end for Kansas City with a grin that could charm a storm, was no ordinary fan. Clad in a simple black tee, he leaned forward, mesmerized, a handmade bracelet dangling from his wrist. Woven with beads in Taylor's signature purple, it bore his phone number, a bold, old-school gesture born from a crush that had simmered for months. Travis had first heard Taylor's music during a late-night drive, her voice cutting through the static of his car radio like a revelation. Her lyrics, raw and unapologetic, spoke to him in ways he couldn't explain. When he learned her tour was coming to Arrowhead, he'd snagged a ticket, crafted the bracelet, and dreamed of slipping it into her hand. But as the concert ended and the crowd roared, security lines kept him from the backstage meet and greet. Disappointed but undeterred, he headed to the studio for his weekly podcast, Game Plan, co-hosted with his brother Jake. The mic was hot, the listeners tuned in, and Travis couldn't hold back. "I went to Taylor Walker's concert tonight," he said, his voice tinged with a sheepish grin. "Tried to give her a bracelet with my number on it, but I didn't get the chance. Guess I'm just a guy with a crush, hoping for a shot." The podcast clip exploded across the internet like wildfire. By morning, it had racked up millions of views on X, the platform buzzing with hashtags like #TaylorandTravis and #NFLMeetsPop. Fans of Taylor, fiercely protective, flooded the comments with praise, gifs of her iconic hair flips, and memes of Travis as a lovesick puppy. "This man is brave," one user posted, racking up thousands of likes. But not all reactions were kind. A darker undercurrent emerged, venomous and sharp. "He's out of her league," sneered a comment from @TrueFan98, dripping with racial undertones. "A white jock chasing a black singer? Good luck with that." Another post from an account with a Confederate flag avatar read, "She doesn't belong in his world. Stick to your lane." The words cut through the digital noise, a reminder of the prejudice Taylor had faced since her first single climbed the charts. Taylor, curled up in her tour bus bunk, scrolled through the comments under the dim glow of her phone. Her heart sank at the hate, each word a pinprick against her radiant spirit. She'd grown used to the whispers, on red carpets, in interviews, even at award shows, where her blackness was dissected, questioned, or dismissed. But this was different. This was personal. Travis's podcast confession played on loop in her mind, his voice warm and unguarded. She pictured him, a stranger who'd woven her favorite color into a bracelet, a man bold enough to bare his heart to millions. Curiosity stirred within her, a flicker of something new. Who was this Travis Smith? And why did his gesture feel like a melody she couldn't shake? Across town, the nation's media caught the scent of a story. Morning shows buzzed with speculation, their anchors dissecting Travis's words over coffee mugs and teleprompters. Is this the start of a new power couple? One host chirped, while another raised an eyebrow. Taylor Walker and an NFL star? That's a headline. On X, the conversation grew louder, with fans posting side-by-side photos of Taylor's glowing stage presence and Travis's chiseled form on the field. A viral meme showed Taylor singing, captioned, "When your crush is a Super Bowl champ." But the ugliness persisted too, with a thread gaining traction. Why is a white athlete chasing her? He's just using her fame. The comments stung, but Taylor's resolve hardened. She'd built her career on defying doubters, and this was no different. In her bus, Taylor paused on a photo of Travis from the game highlights. A broad smile, sweat-soaked jersey, eyes alight with determination. She clicked on his podcast, letting his voice fill the quiet. I just wanted her to know someone sees her, not just the star, but the person, he said, his sincerity cutting through the noise. Her lips curved into a smile, her fingers tracing the edge of her phone. The world was watching, judging, dissecting. But in that moment, Taylor felt a spark, a melody waiting to be written, a story waiting to unfold. She didn't know where it would lead, but for the first time in years, she wanted to find out. The roar of Arrowhead Stadium thundered like a living beast, a sea of red jerseys and waving banners flooding the stands under the crisp September sun. Taylor Walker sat in the VIP box, her heart pounding, not from the game unfolding below, but from the weight of eyes she could feel boring into her. At 28, the African-American songstress was no stranger to scrutiny, her radiant ebony skin and cascading wavy black hair a beacon in a world that often tried to dim her light. She'd come to cheer for Travis Smith, the NFL star whose podcast confession had set the internet ablaze just weeks ago. Clad in a Chiefs cap and a simple white sweater, Taylor blended into the crowd, yet her presence sparked whispers. Beside her, Donna Smith, Travis's mother, offered a warm smile, her kindness a quiet anchor in the storm of attention. On the field, Travis moved like lightning, his white jersey streaked with grass as he caught a pass that sent the crowd into a frenzy. Taylor clapped, her eyes tracing his every move, her mind replaying his words from the podcast. I just wanted her to know someone sees her. The thought sent a shiver down her spine, a melody of curiosity weaving through her. She'd agreed to come to the game on a whim, intrigued by the man who dared to bare his heart to millions. But as the Jumbotron flashed her face across the stadium, the words Taylor Walker in the house, blazing in bold, a ripple of murmurs swept through the crowd. Some cheered, waving signs with her lyrics, but others, too many, stared with cold, appraising eyes, their whispers sharp as knives. The game ended in a Chiefs victory, and Taylor followed Donna to a private lounge to meet Travis. Her pulse raced as she stepped into the room, the air thick with the scent of victory and sweat. Travis stood there, still in his gear, his broad frame towering yet softened by a grin that lit up his face. Taylor Walker, he said, his voice low and warm. I didn't think you'd actually show up. His blue eyes held hers, unguarded, and for a moment, the world shrank to just the two of them. Taylor laughed, her wavy hair bouncing as she tilted her head. Well, you did make a bracelet for me, she teased, her voice a mix of nerves and defiance. Figured I owed you a chance to hand it over. Their conversation flowed like a song, effortless yet electric. Over plates of post-game wings in a quiet corner, they traded stories. Her childhood singing in Georgia churches, his days tossing footballs in Ohio backyards. Travis's laugh was infectious, his sincerity a balm to Taylor's guarded heart. But the moment was fleeting. As they left the lounge, a group of fans lingered outside, their phones flashing like paparazzi. "Taylor, why are you here?" one shouted, the question laced with an edge that made her stomach twist. Another voice, harsher, cut through. "Stick to your music, not our team." The words landed like a slap, their racial undertones unmistakable. Travis's hand brushed hers, a silent reassurance. But Taylor's smile faltered, her skin prickling under the weight of their stares. By nightfall, the nation was alight with their story. X erupted with #Taylor at the game, the hashtag trending as clips of her on the Jumbotron went viral. Fans posted montages of Taylor cheering, her radiant smile juxtaposed with Travis's game-winning catch. "This is the crossover we didn't know we needed," one user gushed, racking up thousands of retweets. Morning shows jumped in, their anchors buzzing with speculation. "Taylor Walker at a Chiefs game? Is this love or just a publicity stunt?" A host on Good Morning America mused, her tone skeptical. But the darker side of the internet reared its head too. A thread on X, started by its sports purists, sneered, "She's out of place here. A black pop star in our stadium? No thanks." The post gained traction, its vitriol echoed by comments calling her an outsider in Travis's white-dominated world. Taylor scrolled through the posts in her hotel room, the city skyline glittering beyond her window. Each hateful word was a familiar wound, a reminder of the barriers she'd faced since her first album dropped. She'd fought to be seen as more than her race, her music a testament to her strength. Yet here, in this new chapter, the world seemed determined to reduce her to a stereotype. She paused on a photo of Travis from the game, his eyes bright with triumph, and her heart softened. His gesture, the bracelet, the podcast, had been real, unguarded. Could she trust it? Could she trust him? As she set her phone down, a notification pinged, a text from Travis. "Dinner tomorrow? Just us. No cameras, no crowds." Her lips curved into a smile, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. The nation was watching, judging, dissecting. But in that moment, Taylor felt a spark, a chance to write a new verse, one that might just change everything. She typed back, "Count me in," and pressed send, her heart racing with a melody only she could hear. The autumn air buzzed with glamour as Taylor Walker stepped onto the red carpet of the National Unity Gala. Her ebony skin glowing under the flashing cameras, her long, wavy black hair shimmering like a cascade of midnight. At 28, the African-American songstress was a vision in a deep purple gown, its fabric hugging her curves with quiet elegance. Beside her, Travis Smith, the NFL's white-hot star, stood tall in a tailored tuxedo, his hand gently clasped around hers. Their fingers intertwined, a bold declaration in a world that watched their every move. The Kansas City Gala, a glittering affair of celebrities and philanthropists, was their first public appearance as a couple, and the nation's eyes were glued to them. Taylor's heart raced, a mix of pride and nerves, as she felt the weight of their shared spotlight. The gala hall shimmered with chandeliers, the clink of champagne glasses mingling with murmurs of admiration. Taylor and Travis moved through the crowd, their laughter a melody that drowned out the whispers. "You clean up nice, Smith," Taylor teased, her voice warm as she adjusted his bow tie. Travis grinned, his blue eyes sparkling. "Only 'cause I've got the best date in the room," he replied, his thumb brushing her palm. Their chemistry was undeniable, a spark that lit up the room. But as they posed for photos, a shadow loomed. A cluster of guests stared, their gazes laced with judgment, their hushed words carrying the sting of prejudice. "She's stunning, but with him?" one woman muttered, her tone dripping with disdain. Taylor's smile held firm, but her chest tightened, the familiar ache of being othered in a sea of white faces. That night, Taylor's new single, Beyond the Noise, dropped, its lyrics a raw anthem of love defying hate. Inspired by Travis's unwavering presence, the song soared with lines like, "They'll scream, they'll stare, but we'll rise through the air." Within hours, it rocketed to #1 on every chart, its melody a battle cry for resilience. Fans flooded X with praise, posting videos of themselves singing along, their voices a chorus of support. Taylor Walker just wrote our anthem, one user declared, the post amassing millions of likes. The nation's airwaves hummed with her voice, radio hosts calling it the love song of the year. But the triumph was tainted. A vicious undercurrent surged online, with hashtags like #wrongfit gaining traction. She's using him for clout, one post sneered. A black singer doesn't belong with our NFL star, another spat, its venom rooted in race. The next morning, the nation's reaction reached a fever pitch. Talk shows dissected their red carpet debut, anchors debating with polished smiles. Taylor and Travis are breaking barriers. But is America ready? One host on the Morning Blend mused, her words sparking a flurry of calls. On X, the #Taylor and Travis trended alongside clips of their intertwined hands, but the hate persisted. A thread from @Pure Sports Fan read, "She doesn't fit in his world. Stay in your lane, Taylor." The comments stung, each word a reminder of the barriers Taylor had fought her whole life. Yet amidst the storm, a beacon emerged. The president himself posted on X, "Taylor Walker and Travis Smith are proof that love transcends all divides. Wishing them joy." The message, liked by millions, was a lifeline, but it also ignited a firestorm. Some cheered, others scoffed, accusing the couple of politicizing their romance. Taylor sat in her hotel suite, her phone buzzing with notifications. She scrolled through the president's post, her lips curving into a bittersweet smile. The support was a balm, but the hate cut deeper. She'd faced racism before, on tour buses, in boardrooms, at award shows, but this was personal, a blade aimed at her heart. Travis, sprawled on the couch beside her, sensed her tension. "Hey," he said softly, his hand finding hers. "We're in this together, okay? Let them talk." His voice was steady, a rock in the chaos, but Taylor's eyes glistened. "It's not just talk, Travis," she whispered. "It's who I am to them." She gestured to her skin, her hair, her very being. Travis pulled her close, his embrace a promise. "To me, you're everything," he said, his words a quiet vow. The nation's obsession grew louder. Tabloids splashed their faces across covers, headlines screaming, "Taylor and Travis, love or stunt?" On X, fans fought back, posting montages of Taylor's radiant smile and Travis's protective glances. "They're rewriting the rules of love," one user wrote, her words shared thousands of times. But the hate lingered, a shadow Taylor couldn't escape. She opened her notebook, her pen scratching out new lyrics. "They'll tear us apart, but we'll mend every scar." The words were her armor, her music, her shield. As she looked at Travis, his eyes unwavering, she felt a flicker of hope. The world was watching, judging, tearing at their seams. But in that moment, Taylor knew. This love, fragile yet fierce, was worth fighting for. The golden hues of autumn painted the world as Taylor Walker and Travis Smith carved out stolen moments amidst their whirlwind lives. At 28, Taylor, with her radiant ebony skin and long, wavy black hair, was a beacon of grace, her voice a lifeline for millions. Travis, the NFL's white-hot star, was her steadfast partner, his broad frame and easy smile a contrast to the chaos that followed them. Their love, a fragile melody in a cacophony of judgment, deepened through shared glances at the U.S. Open, where they cheered from courtside seats, and a fleeting night when Travis joined Taylor on stage during her tour, his awkward dance moves drawing laughter from a roaring crowd. Each moment was a thread, weaving them closer, yet the world's eyes never strayed, their gaze a mix of adoration and scorn. One crisp October evening, Travis orchestrated a surprise that would etch itself into Taylor's heart. He'd rented a rooftop venue in Kansas City, its skyline twinkling like a constellation. As Taylor stepped through the doors expecting a quiet dinner, she was met with a burst of light and music. Friends and family, her sister from Georgia, his brother Jake, their parents, filled the space, their cheers enveloping her like a warm embrace. Balloons in her favorite purple floated above tables adorned with jasmine, her birth flower. Travis stood at the center, his tuxedo sharp, his grin boyish. "Happy birthday, Taylor," he said, his voice carrying over the crowd. "You make every day brighter." Taylor's eyes glistened, her wavy hair catching the candlelight as she laughed. Overwhelmed by the love in the room, the nation couldn't look away. Clips of the party leaked online, shared by a guest's innocent post on X. #Taylor turns 29 trended, with fans swooning over Travis's gesture. "He's setting the bar too high," one user gushed, her video of Taylor's radiant smile garnering millions of views. Morning shows replayed the footage, anchors cooing over the couple's chemistry. "Travis Smith is redefining romance," a host on Today declared, her words sparking a wave of heart emojis online. But the sweetness was tainted. A thread on X started by a Gridiron Gatekeeper sneered, "Why's he wasting time on her? She's just a distraction." The comment, steeped in racial undertones, spread like wildfire, echoed by others calling Taylor out of place in Travis's world. The storm hit its peak at a press conference days later, where Taylor faced a barrage of reporters before her next concert. Dressed in a sleek blazer, her hair cascading over her shoulders, she answered questions with her usual poise. But one reporter, his tone sharp, cut through the room. "Taylor, how do you handle fitting into Travis's world? His family, his friends, all so different from yours?" The question hung heavy, its implication clear. The room stilled, cameras zooming in on her face. Taylor's breath caught, the sting of being reduced to her race a familiar wound. But she straightened, her eyes blazing. "Love doesn't need to fit," she said, her voice steady as steel. "It just needs to be real. Travis and I, we're real." The room erupted in applause, her words a spark that lit up screens across the nation. X exploded with her response, the hashtag #TaylorSpeaks trending as fans shared the clip. "She just shut that down," one user posted, her words retweeted thousands of times. Major networks, CNN, MSNBC, ran segments praising her grace. "Taylor Walker is a force," an anchor declared, her tone reverent. Even politicians chimed in, with a senator tweeting, "Taylor's courage is what America needs." But the backlash persisted. A vocal minority on X doubled down, their comments vicious. "She's playing the race card," one wrote, while another sneered, "Travis deserves better." The hate was a shadow Taylor couldn't escape, each word a reminder of the world's refusal to let her love freely. That night, in the quiet of her dressing room, Taylor sat with Travis, her head resting on his shoulder. "They'll never stop, will they?" she whispered, her voice raw. Travis's arm tightened around her, his warmth a shield. "They don't matter," he said, his voice low and fierce. "You do. We do." He'd spoken out earlier that day on a national sports channel, his words unyielding. "Taylor's the most incredible woman I know, and I don't care what anyone says. We're in this together." His defense, broadcast to millions, was a declaration that echoed across the country, silencing some critics but enraging others. Taylor traced the lines of his hand, her heart a battlefield of hope and hurt. She opened her notebook, her pen scratching out new lyrics. "They'll try to break us, but we'll hold fast." Her music, as always, was her refuge, a way to alchemize pain into power. The nation watched, their voices a cacophony of love and hate. But in Travis's embrace, Taylor found a quiet strength. Their bond, tested by fire, was growing unbreakable, a melody that no storm could silence. The Super Bowl's electric pulse coursed through Las Vegas's Allegiant Stadium, a cathedral of light and sound where dreams clashed and legends were born. Taylor Walker sat in the VIP box, her ebony skin catching the stadium's glow, her long, wavy black hair a cascade of defiance against the sea of scrutiny below. At 28, the African-American songstress was no stranger to high stakes, her career a tapestry of triumphs woven through adversity. Tonight, she was here for Travis Smith, the white NFL star whose love had become her anchor in a world determined to tear them apart. The Kansas City Chiefs, led by Travis's unrelenting drive, were battling for the championship, and Taylor's presence was a beacon, both for the fans who adored her and the detractors who loathed her. The Jumbotron flashed her face, her radiant smile framed by the words, "Taylor Walker cheers for Chiefs." The crowd roared, a mix of cheers and jeers that sent a shiver down her spine. Clad in a custom Chiefs jacket, purple accents woven into the design. Taylor clapped as Travis sprinted across the field, his white jersey a blur of power. But the air grew heavy as a group of fans in the lower stands turned their gaze upward, their shouts slicing through the noise. "Go back to the stage!" one yelled, his voice laced with venom. "You don't belong here!" another screamed, the words dripping with racial contempt. Taylor's breath caught, her heart a drumbeat of hurt. She'd faced hate before, on X, in headlines, in whispers. But this was raw, unfiltered, a public wound inflicted before millions. Travis, oblivious on the field, caught a pass that sent the stadium into a frenzy, securing a lead that felt like destiny. As the final whistle blew, sealing the Chiefs' victory, the crowd erupted. But Taylor's eyes were fixed on the faces below, their hostility a stark contrast to the celebration. The Jumbotron replayed Travis's triumph, but it also caught the moment he broke from his teammates, sprinting toward the VIP box. He climbed the steps two at a time, sweat-soaked and breathless, his blue eyes finding Taylor's. Without a word, he pulled her into his arms, his embrace a shield against the venom. The cameras captured it all, broadcasting their love to a nation glued to their screens. A moment that would become iconic. The nation exploded with reactions. X lit up with #LoveWins. The image of Travis and Taylor's embrace shared millions of times. "This is what love looks like," one fan posted, her words retweeted across the globe. Major networks, NBC, ESPN, replayed the moment, analysts calling it a touchdown for unity. The president weighed in on X, his words a beacon. "Travis and Taylor show us what America can be, united in love. Congrats on the win." The post garnered millions of likes, a fleeting balm in a divided world. But the backlash was ferocious. The #wrong match resurfaced, fueled by comments like, "She's a distraction," "He won despite her," and worse, "A black singer has no place in our game." The hate, steeped in racism, spread like wildfire, each post a dagger to Taylor's heart. In her hotel suite that night, Taylor sat alone, her phone a portal to the world's cruelty. She scrolled through the vitriol, each word a reminder of the barriers she'd fought her whole life. Her music had always been her refuge, and now it called to her again. She opened her notebook, her pen trembling as she poured her pain into lyrics. The result was Shades of Courage, a raw, haunting ballad about standing tall against hate. They scream, they scar, but we'll shine like stars. She recorded a demo on her phone, her voice breaking with emotion, and shared a snippet on X. Within hours, it went viral, fans hailing it as her most powerful work yet. "Taylor's fighting back with her art," one user wrote, her post shared thousands of times. The nation's response was a tempest. Morning shows debated the song's impact, with anchors praising its courage but questioning its timing. "Is Taylor Walker politicizing the Super Bowl?" one host asked, her tone skeptical. On X, fans rallied with #Shades of Courage, posting videos of themselves singing the lyrics, their voices a chorus of solidarity. But the hate persisted, a vocal minority accusing Taylor of playing the victim. Travis, sitting beside her as she read the comments, took her hand. "You're stronger than all of them," he said, his voice a steady anchor. "This song, it's you. It's us." His words, simple yet fierce, rekindled her fire. Taylor looked out at the glittering Vegas skyline, her heart a battlefield of hurt and hope. The nation watched, their voices a cacophony of love and hate. But Travis's touch grounded her. Her song was climbing the charts, her love was holding strong, and in that moment she knew, no matter the storm, they would face it together, their bond a melody that refused to fade. The ocean whispered secrets as Taylor Walker stood on the balcony of a secluded beach house. The Pacific's waves a soothing counterpoint to the storm that had raged within her. At 28, the African-American songstress, her ebony skin kissed by the golden dusk, let her long, wavy black hair dance in the salty breeze. The world felt distant here, a sanctuary from the venom that had followed her and Travis Smith, the white NFL star whose love had become her refuge. After the Super Bowl's bruising clash, the hateful shouts, the viral hate on X, Taylor had ended her global tour and Travis had clinched another championship. Exhausted by the nation's scrutiny, they'd fled to this coastal haven, a place where their love could breathe, unburdened by the weight of a million eyes. Inside, Travis sprawled on a couch, his broad frame relaxed in a faded chief's hoodie. His blue eyes followed Taylor as she stepped back into the room, her presence a melody that steadied his heart. "You okay?" he asked, his voice soft but laced with concern. Taylor sank beside him, her head resting against his shoulder. "I'm tired, Travis," she admitted, her voice raw. "Not of you. Of them. The hate, the judgment. It's like they're trying to erase me." Her words hung heavy, the pain of racism, a wound she'd carried since childhood. Travis's arm tightened around her, his warmth a shield. "They can't erase you," he said fiercely. "You're bigger than their noise. We are." His words, simple yet resolute, cracked the dam of her emotions, and tears spilled down her cheeks. In that quiet space, Taylor opened her heart, sharing the scars she'd hidden. The microaggressions at award shows, the online slurs, the sting of being called out of place in Travis's world. Travis listened, his silence a testament to his love. "I wish I could take it away," he said at last, his voice thick. "But I can stand with you, always." Their conversation stretched into the night, a catharsis that wove their souls closer. Inspired, they began drafting a speech together, a call for unity to be delivered at an upcoming charity event. Taylor's pen flew across the page, her words a blend of poetry and power. "Love doesn't divide, it builds. We choose to build." Travis added lines, his pragmatism grounding her passion, their voices merging into a single, unshakable truth. The National Unity Gala, held in Los Angeles a week later, was a beacon of hope, its stage adorned with candles and banners of peace. Taylor and Travis stood side by side, her purple dress a nod to her signature hue, his suit crisp and steady. As they stepped to the podium, the crowd, a mix of celebrities, activists, and fans, held its breath. Taylor's voice, clear and resonant, carried their message. "We've faced hate, but we've also found love, not just in each other, but in the voices that lift us up. Let's choose unity over division every single day." Travis's hand rested on hers, his presence a quiet strength as he added, "Together, we're unstoppable." The room erupted in applause, a tidal wave of support that drowned out the skeptics. The nation was captivated. The speech, live-streamed on X, went viral, with #Taylor and Travis United trending worldwide. Fans shared clips, their captions a chorus of solidarity. "This is what love looks like." Major networks, CNN, ABC, ran segments, anchors praising the couple's courage. "Taylor Walker and Travis Smith are redefining unity," one declared, her words echoing across airwaves. Even a senator tweeted, "Their message is America's future." The president's earlier support was amplified, his team retweeting the speech with a note, "This is the heart of our nation." But the backlash lingered, a stubborn shadow. A thread on X, led by @Hate No More, sneered, "It's a publicity stunt. They're playing us." Others called Taylor divisive, their words steeped in the same racism she'd fought her whole life. Taylor and Travis sat in their hotel room, the city's glow filtering through the curtains. She scrolled through the comments, her heart heavy but unbroken. "They'll never stop, will they?" she murmured. Travis took her phone, setting it aside. "Some won't," he said, his voice steady. "But look at the others, the millions who hear you, who see us." He gestured to the flood of support on X, from fans posting art of their embrace to celebrities vowing to amplify their message. Taylor's lips curved into a smile, her fingers tracing the lyrics in her notebook. "We'll rise, we'll mend, our love won't bend." The nation's voices swirled, some cruel, others kind. But in that moment, Taylor felt a shift. The hate was loud, but the love was louder, a chorus carried by fans, friends, and strangers who believed constancy their story. Travis's hand found hers, his touch a promise. They were healing, not just from the world's wounds, but from the strength they found in each other. The ocean's whisper lingered in Taylor's heart, a reminder that their love, like the tide, would endure. The Nashville evening unfurled like a love song, the air heavy with the scent of jasmine and the promise of forever. Taylor Walker stood in a garden aglow with fairy lights, her ebony skin radiant under the soft golden hue, her long, wavy black hair cascading like a river of midnight. At 28, the African-American songstress was on the cusp of releasing her new album, Colors of Us, a tapestry of melodies woven from her journey with Travis Smith, the white NFL star who'd become her heart's compass. Unbeknownst to her, Travis had planned a moment that would echo across the world. The garden tucked behind a historic estate was a secret he'd guarded for weeks, its roses and lanterns a stage for a love that had weathered storms. Taylor thought they were attending a quiet album launch dinner, her purple dress shimmering as she stepped into the garden. But the sight before her stole her breath, a pathway of petals leading to a pergola draped in white blooms. Travis standing at its center, his suit sharp, his blue eyes alight with nervous anticipation. "Taylor," he said, his voice steady yet trembling with emotion. "You're my home, my fight, my everything." He dropped to one knee, a diamond ring sparkling in his hand, its fastest catching the starlight. "Will you marry me?" The words hung in the air, a melody that stopped time. Taylor's hands flew to her mouth, tears welling as she nodded, her voice a whisper. "Yes, Travis. Yes." Their embrace, fierce and tender, was a vow sealed under the watchful eyes of the stars. The nation erupted when they announced their engagement on X, their joint post simple yet profound. "We chose each other, no matter the noise." The caption, paired with a photo of Taylor's radiant smile and the ring glinting on her finger, crashed the platform for hours, amassing millions of likes. Fans flooded the internet with #Taylor and Travis engaged, sharing videos of themselves dancing to Taylor's hits in celebration. Morning shows, CBS, NBC, replayed the proposal's leaked footage, captured by a friend's discreet phone. "This is the fairy tale America needed," an anchor declared, her voice thick with emotion. The president joined the chorus, posting on X, "Taylor Walker and Travis Smith are a beacon of love and unity. Here's to their forever." His words, liked by millions, were a crown on their triumph. But the joy was not unmarred. A shadow of hate lingered, as it always had. On X, a thread under #WrongMatch resurfaced, its venom undeterred. "She's not right for him," one user spat, the words steeped in racism. "Travis deserves someone who fits his world," another sneered, the subtext clear. Tabloids, ever hungry for scandal, ran headlines like, "Taylor's engagement, love or controversy?" The barbs stung, each one a reminder of the prejudice Taylor had faced since her first note rang out. Yet this time, the nation's response was a tidal wave of love. Fans countered with #LoveWins, posting art of Taylor and Travis, their faces painted in vibrant hues. Celebrities, singers, actors, athletes flooded X with congratulations, drowning out the hate. A viral video showed a group of fans singing Taylor's new single, "Forever in Our Colors," outside her concert venue, their voices a defiant hymn. The song, released days after the proposal, was Taylor's masterpiece, a soaring ballad born from their love's resilience. "In every shade, we'll stand hand in hand." Its lyrics, raw and triumphant, climbed the charts, becoming an anthem for those who'd ever felt outcast. On X, fans shared stories of how the song healed them, their posts a mosaic of hope. "Taylor's voice is our strength," one wrote, her words retweeted thousands of times. Talk shows hailed the song's impact, with an MSNBC anchor calling it a love letter to unity. Even the skeptics, those who'd once questioned their bond, began to soften, their voices quieter in the face of such overwhelming support. Taylor and Travis stood together at a Nashville music festival, the final stop of her tour. She took the stage, her hair catching the spotlight as she sang "Forever in Our Colors" for the first time live. Travis watched from the wings, his grin wide, his presence a silent promise. The crowd roared, their wristbands glowing purple, a sea of light that mirrored her heart. As the final note faded, Taylor spoke, her voice steady. "This is for us, all of us, who choose love over hate." The applause was deafening, a nation's heartbeat echoing her words. In that moment, Taylor felt the weight of the world lift. The hate would linger, as it always did, but it was no match for the love that surrounded her. Travis's unwavering devotion, The fans' fierce loyalty, the nation's growing embrace. Their story, once a spark, had become a flame, burning bright against the darkness. As they stepped off the stage hand in hand, Taylor knew their love was a song that would never fade. And so Taylor Walker and Travis Smith's love became a beacon, a melody that rose above the noise of hate to unite a nation. Their story of courage, defiance, and a proposal that shook the world is one we won't soon forget. What did their journey stir in you? Did it spark hope, ignite strength, or remind you of your own battles for love? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know where you're joining us from, your city, your time zone, your heart. Thank you for walking this path with us, for cheering through the storms and celebrating the triumphs. Your support lights up our storytelling stage. Until we meet again for the next chapter of love and resilience, keep shining, keep loving, and keep believing in the power of unity. See you soon.